But one of the things that people special about New Jersey is there's 7 families here. You got the 5 families in New York. You got, the DeCavalcantes, and you have the Philly kind of crew hanging out, South Jersey and some parts of Newark. Just me personally, and I'm not saying I was super connected, but less about the reason why I'm asking James questions first. I don't know many Colombo crews. I know Profaci's son was here, but he got into Calavita and got legitimate. I don't know many Colombo crews in Jersey. In your investigation, your period, Giovanni, any Colombo activity that you remember?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of Colombo activity.
Oh, there was. Okay.
Yeah, back in the day, early 90s, and even into the late 90s, 2000s. I had a satellite office one time, and it was on the waterfront. And here I thought we had this great little covert place, and we were kind of just hanging out, and they were calling it home. And here comes a made guy. He's a capo, and he had an office in the same building as us, and he was running his business, and he was wound up.
And what city was that in, Giovanni?
That was in Jersey City.
Oh wow.
Yeah, just set up shop, and he was doing some union work and some construction stuff down there, and working with the ports, and they still had their hands in it. And that was 2000s.
Interesting. So okay,
yeah.
So in terms of kind of like the iterations of the mob and that kind of stuff, and the more I do research, tell me if you're okay with this ranking. I always want to give number 1 to the Genovese. You had Legacy, you had Richie the Boot, the Gatto crew in Patterson. You had your guys in Bayonne, the Giglio, and so forth. I would give number 2 historically to the Gambinos, Bobby Cabert, and that crew. And then I give the Cavs a 3rd just because they're homegrown. Are you okay with that top 3, or would you shake it up a little bit, Giovanni?
I would agree with it. And at times the pendulum swung, right? Depending on what was going on and who was in charge.
Yeah.
Right? You're talking the years of Paul Castellano, it might have been a little bit different. It might have been the Decavs always struck me as very strange family because they laid low.
Yeah.
I mean, they really laid low. They were a powerful family.
Yeah.
Law enforcement, of course, knew about them. If you were from that area, you knew about them and you knew their juice and what they had. But the power that they held over the construction sites, the union work, the other families had to go to them, and of course for other work, they farm jobs out. But I would agree with that structure. I would agree. Then Genovese is the strongest, of course, right? Lucky Luciano being, one of the creators and the guy, the Godfather who had the sense to create the commission and everything. You got to give it to that family. It is what it is.
Now,
did you know? Real quick, did you know about Tony Federici, the guy who just died 2 weeks ago?
What about him?
It's still not known in our world, but maybe in your world, if he really truly was a made guy and that they said, was he a capo? Was he a capo regime? I mean, was he an underboss at one point? Was he a street boss at one point? Was he really connected?
I don't know enough to speak about it. It depends on if he did actually get his button, when he got his button, what did he do to get his button? Times have changed now. You can be a good earner and a guy that makes a lot of money and gets his button that way. It's not traditional where you got to do the ultimate deed of murder, right? To get your button.
Well,
a lot of guys keep it